everybody, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk about flex slots in Dimir Murktide in Modern. So, let's just jump into it.
All hail the psychic frog. All hail the psychic frog. All hail the psychic frog. All hail the psychic frog.
This is not what we're talking about today. This is your non-flex slots in Dimir Murktide. If you're playing Dimir Murktide, you are pretty much signed up for playing these 53 cards in the main deck and these 6 cards in the sideboard. So when you decide to make your deck, the question is, what are the 7 cards are you playing in the main deck? And what are the 9 cards you're playing in the sideboard? Well, here are your reasonable options. You're going to pick 7 cards of these 13, and you're going to pick 9 of these 15 cards to have your very own but stock version of Dimir Murktide. So you could play the 4th Preordain. Preordain's 1-mana sorcery, scry 2, then draw a card. This allows you to kind of push through your deck, makes you easily put instant sorceries in the graveyard for a big old Murktide, and kind of filter your draws while also like replacing itself. You play Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce, 1-mana instant, counter target non-creature spell, unless controller pays 2. Very good, really cheap interaction against non-creatures. Great for fighting counter spell wars and against combo decks. Spell Snare is a 1-mana instant, counter target spell with mana value 2. The way Modern is right now, most of the extremely powerful cards in Modern are 2 mana, so this counters a lot of those. You play into Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is 1-mana sorcery. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. You lose 2 life. This allows you to sort of select what cards your opponent has to choose from to play and really control the cards that are played in the game, which is very, very powerful. Play up to Shoot the Sheriff, 2-mana instant, destroy target non-outlaw creature. This is probably the best 2-mana removal, at least black and generic removal in Modern. It's a Doomblade effect, has always been very good, and there's not a lot of outlaws that are playable. 3-mana instant, if it's not your turn, you may exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Counter target non-creature spell. If spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. This is absolutely excellent against combo decks. Not very good against decks you're looking to grind with, because 2-for-1ing yourself feels really bad, but being able to stop other people's combos for 0 mana is very important. You play another Sink into Stupor. MDFC card on the front is 3-mana instant, return target spell or non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. And the back is a land that enters tapped unless you pay 3 life. That's a blue land. This is pretty powerful because not only does it help us hit our land drops, but also 3 mana to return a spell or non-land permanent to its owner's hand is like not bad. Play up to Dismember. Dismember is 3 mana, 1 generic and 2 Phyrexian black. Instant. Target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. This is a way that it's very painful. It costs a lot of life. It doesn't have to, because we do produce black mana in this deck. But 1 mana, -5/-5, 1 mana kill pretty much everything in Modern. You play a Sauron's Ransom. It is a 3-mana instant. Choose an opponent. They look at the top 4 cards of your library and separate them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. Put 1 pile in your hand and the other into your graveyard. The ring tempts you. The ring tempts you literally doesn't matter. But what this is this allows you to get pretty good card advantage at instant speed, so you can keep mana open for kill spells or counter spells or what have you, while you still churn through your deck and get really good cards. You play another Subtlety. Subtlety is a 4-mana creature. It's a 3/3 with flash and flying. When this creature enters, choose up to 1 target creature spell or planeswalker spell. Its owner puts it their choice at the top or bottom of their library, and we can evoke it by exiling a blue card from our hand. So we can cast it for essentially free by exiling a blue card from our hand. However, it's sacrificed once it enters. So this is free as far as mana goes, countering target creature spells or planeswalker spells, which is very good. But then if we have the mana open, we can get rid of them and have a threat, which is really powerful. And then we can play Kaito Bane of Nightmares. Kaito Bane of Nightmares is a 4-mana planeswalker that starts at 4 loyalty. However, it has ninjutsu for 3 mana. And during your turn, as long as Kaito has 1 or more loyalty counters on him, he's a 3/4 ninja creature and has hexproof. So it's +1 is you get an emblem with ninjas you control get +1/+1, which is itself. 0 is Surveil 2, then draw a card for each opponent who lost life this turn. And -2, tap target creature, put 2 stun counters on it. So this is a great way to push damage through, a great way to draw additional cards and divert your opponent's attention. Also being able to return things like Orcish Bowmasters with the ninjutsu to be able to like kill additional creatures of your opponents is really, really powerful. So you're going to be selecting 7 of these 13 cards for your main deck, and then let's look at the sideboard. We can play an additional Consign to Memory. Consign to Memory is a 1-mana instant with Replicate for 1 generic, and counter target triggered ability or colorless spell. Very good against Eldrazi, decent against Belcher, decent against Storm, fine against Amulet even. This really neuters a lot of decks if you have them, so playing the 4th is pretty decent. You can play up to 3 Stern Scolding. Stern Scolding is a 1-mana instant counter target creature spell with power or toughness 2 or less. Very powerful against the energy decks and like the black-white deck and stuff like that. Pretty decent in the mirror too, actually, being able to take out Orcish Bowmasters and Psychic Frog and whatnot. You can play up to 2 Mystical Dispute. Mystical Dispute's a 3-mana instant. The spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a blue spell. Counter target spell unless the controller pays 3. So this is a great way to win counter wars. Be able to interact for 1 mana against blue decks is super powerful. You can play 2 additional Harbinger of the Seas. It's a 3-mana 2/2 non-basic lands are islands, which is very good against decks that rely on their lands to either produce additional mana or whatever, or even Urza Saga decks. So very good against like Titan because they have lands that produce 2 mana plus they're an Urza Saga deck. Very good against Eldrazi, whatnot. You can play Jace the Mind Sculptor. Jace the Mind Sculptor is a 4-mana planeswalker that starts at 3 loyalty. Its +2 is look at the top card of target player's library. You may put that card in the bottom of that player's library. Its 0 is draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of their library in any order. -1, return target creature to its owner's hand. And -12 is exile all cards from target player's library. Then that player shuffles their hand into their library. So its ultimate is obviously a just win. +1, you can filter your opponent's draws, but it's not very good in Modern because of fetch lands. They can just reshuffle. Its 0 allows you to brainstorm. You draw 3 cards and put 2 cards you don't want on top of your deck. Ideally, this is comboed with a shuffle effect like a fetch land. So it effectively becomes draw 3 cards and then can get things out of the way with the -1. Extremely powerful. We've already talked about why you'd play Subtlety, just maybe in the sideboard. You play Toxic Deluge. Toxic Deluge is a 3-mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, pay X life. All creatures get -X until end of turn. Great board wipe. You have to pay life, which is a little awkward, but also it's reasonably unconditional. Like you can pay as much life as you want. If I talked about Kaido, we could play that in the board. Play an additional Nihil Spellbomb, so 1-mana artifact. We can tap it and sacrifice it to exile target player's graveyard, and when this artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay black if you do draw cards. So this allows it to replace itself, but also graveyard hate just for 1 mana. Doesn't matter what color it is. That can just sit on the battlefield until it's relevant is pretty good. And then you can play up to 2 Engineered Explosives. It is X cost artifact with Sunburst, where it enters with a charge counter for each color of mana spent to cast it. And you pay 2 mana and sacrifice it. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on this artifact. Really good against decks that produce a lot of tokens, or decks that have a lot of cards of the same mana cost, or things that you really need to have an answer to, or you lose. But very powerful card. So you're going to select 9 of these 15 cards, 7 of these 13 cards, and then you'll have your very own but stock version of Dimir Murktide in Modern. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.